Good afternoon, ladies and germs, as the old school comedians would say. John in Tucson. It is 12:32 p.m. in Tucson, Arizona. It is also currently 87 degrees, and it's warming up quick, as it always does. Noisy, always fun. Another one that wants to be noisy but isn't. Thank you. Alright, anyway, and here we go. The parade continues. Certainly all you folks aren't just coming home from church, are you? No, she isn't. Sorry, I shouldn't trick the camera like that. That was rude. Anyway, I thought I would go ahead and, instead of a driving video today, we're going to go ahead and just sit down here. My back is against the red brick wall of my home, and I am in the shade. What little shade there is at the moment, and those lovely little 2-foot wide overhang on the roof, that's my shade. So welcome to the desert. It's still green, and it does have its own beauty. And again, there's my lunar landscape of a yard. And whoops, sorry. That was unintentional. I'm trying to hold this with one hand, and I hit the zoom feature instead. Anyway, on with the news, as it were. Yesterday, Mom and I just took a quick drive. I don't even remember what we were going to get at this point. But we were gone for about 2 hours. And when I left, my cat Buddy the magical cat, has one of his own videos featured here on my channel. And I will provide the link to it inside the video at the end. And you can get up to speed if you want to find out a really interesting story about this cat. And this is the one right here that I'm speaking of. This is Buddy. Hello, Buddy. There he is. Oops, careful, that's very sticky. I need to pull that thing out. This was part of an experiment last year, and it didn't last but a month, and it all went straight down the old crapper, as it were. So, back to the story. Mom and I had gone out for about 2 hours, and Buddy was his usual self when we left, which means sneezing and, runny eyes. He's been that way his entire life. But when we came back, I went to find him, and he had his mouth wide open. He was trying like heck to breathe. He couldn't breathe. So I went ahead and told Mom what was going on, and that I needed to take Buddy to the emergency veterinarian clinic. That's about, a mile and a half up the road from me to the north. It's a beautiful facility, very state-of-the-art. It's been there about 3 years now, I guess 4 years. So anyway, I told Mom what was going on, and I asked her if she would come with me, and she said sure. So I put Buddy in his cat cage, and the way that I can get him to travel somewhat quietly is, obviously the first thing I did was I turned on the air conditioning in the car before I even brought him out, so the car could cool down. And then I brought him out into the front seat, and I buckled it in. You can buckle in cat carriers. And then I recovered it with a towel and made sure he had one of the vents blowing on him. And then we took a ride, went up to the vet, and the veterinarian, got his history, and he's seen the vet, another vet, about 3 times now since I've had him in my life. And so they were able to pull up his records, and they saw, what was going on. And I said, but, he's changed in 2 hours. And she said, yeah, well, we'll take him back. So they did their thing. They asked me, has he been on antibiotics before? And I said, yes, the records will reflect that, and which they did. And I said, but I can't really give them to him because they're drops. And because I'm on a blood thinner, and Buddy is basically a big ball of black fur, he's surrounded with razor blades and teeth. And man, he uses them. Trying to get those drops in him, I would walk away, and it would take an hour for the bleeding to stop. So the veterinarian said, I can give him a shot of a long-acting antibiotic. And she said, if you see improvement in a week, take him to your vet. And she now has the records of what we did here today. And she can give him another shot. She said it'll probably take 3 shots in succession. And then he should be okay, good to go, and you won't have to worry about bleeding out. And so, yep. See, so far, now I can actually zoom in. Here we go. Oops, a little too far, sorry about that. Yeah, that's Buddy. That's our boy. And obviously he's not in distress at all. However, it was interesting on the trip up to the vet. I've got to get a drink of water. Hang on. It's one thing about the desert. You must stay hydrated. It is imperative, or bad things can happen. Anyway, on the way up to the veterinarian's office in the car, I was talking to Buddy because he was kind of, meow, 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 Mom was sitting in the back chuckling, and she said, you sound like I did when you boys were just little guys. I'm like, yeah, I was thinking about that. Interesting. I like that. Oops. We kind of were thinking the same thing at the same time. What does Earl call that? My friend Paul would know in New Zealand. Anyway, on the way, and Buddy was excellent at the vet. No stress, no drama, no nothing. He was great. And on the way back from the veterinarian's office, I decided not to put the towel on him. And, I look over after 30 seconds. He's all cashed out. He's got the sun on him. Just very, very slowly, flopping his tail around. So, yeah, I guess I don't need the towel now taking him down there. That was an interesting little experiment by accident, and that is my conclusion on that. Also, the trip, they gave me 3 different medications for him. First, excuse me, I hit the mic. The first one was the long-acting antibiotic. I don't remember the name of it. I'll put it in the description field when I go back in the house and upload the video. And again, another medication in the form of cat treats, and it's a mineral. I think it's a mineral of some kind. She said it's over the counter, but we found this one to be the best out of all the over counter of this specific medication. And she said it will boost his immune system. Just crumble one up in his dry cat food every day, and then you should not see this coming back. And I'm like, finally. Boy, I hope this is the magic bullet for him. I really do. Poor little guy. To be like this for, 3 years. It's terrible. But at any rate, let's see, what was that? What was the third? Oh, and the third one, yes. His eyes have been runny, and it's that stuff that turns, kind of yellow. Although there was no smell, so no, it was not an infection. And she said, no, it's kind of related to the respiratory problem he's having. There we go. The march goes on. And there are eye drops, and I need to put them in his eyes, 1 drop in each eye every 12 hours for 5 days. So that's interesting. I didn't even think about the correlation between the two being interrelated. But yeah, then again, I am not a veterinarian, so it's good stuff. Good stuff. So that was what was going on yesterday. What else is going on? Mama's doing really, really well, as usual. Let's zoom in on the cactus as long as I'm sitting. Should be a little bit stable. Just a touch. There we go. At any rate, yeah, my mother is doing incredibly well. It's amazing for her age, 87 years old. And, 3 years ago, the doctor announced very boldly again, he's like, I don't know how she's still alive. And 3 years ago, she was not in very good shape at all. We were in the emergency room, 2 times a month easily. And it turned out in the end, it was related to all of the medications that she was on, and the fact that her body can no longer process those chemicals, which makes perfect sense to me, absolutely perfect sense. So her doctor put together a plan, and the nice thing is, he includes me in making the decisions about what he's going to be doing. And, once we settle, literally, both of us settle on a plan, then he tells me to go research it, which I do. And then he said, I'll wait for your call. And at the end of the day, I'll call him and give him a thumbs up, and boom, prescriptions are sent into the pharmacy. And she's now, 3 years later, she's on 1/4 of the medications that she was on. And again, her health she's glowing. She does her hair every morning and her makeup. She's got a ton of clothes and, different outfits every day and smiles, and she's incredibly happy. And I'm so glad. I am so glad. She had it rough with my dad. She's 54 years. Yeah, that was a rough road for her. I don't know how she did it. He was not an easy man to live with. And he mistook the way people felt about him as respect, when in fact a lot of time it was fear. He was a very intimidating and commanding presence, which is why he made it the ideal cop here in Tucson. So at any rate, I thought I would just bring you people up to speed on what's been going on here, and I will pan over slowly, as I'm learning. Go too quick and there's lots of motion blur. Now let's do a little zoom H here. Boom. There we go. Buddy the magical cat. Alright people, thank you so much. I appreciate your stopping by. And Mom and I will be taking a drive up to Mount Lemmon on Monday, which is tomorrow. Everybody will be off the mountain, and we won't have to worry about 1 million people. So, that's what we'll be doing, and I will be filming the drive all the way up. We'll be going to several different scenic overlooks of the city, and it should be good. It should be about 3 or 4 different videos. So, hope everyone's having a terrific day, and we'll talk to you later.